So we'll sit at this to get our flask back. We're not going to level up just yet because we don't really have enough to make it viable. We can hear good old Frampy sleeping. I don't know why I'm not warping. Old habits die hard, I guess. It's one of those weird things. Like, if you played this game enough before they put that patch in, you'll be the same. Unless you've like got your memory. Or got rid of the muscle memory of it. Oh. Excuse me. Some of those random yawns. Which always makes it sound like you're uninterested in something when a lot of the time it's just your body being autonomous and stupid. Again, too slow. It's because I moved afterwards, you don't have to move. I forget though. It's PvP. PvP and PvE parry timings couldn't be more different. I've never really understood it, but it's due to the latency, obviously. It barely works in this game. Because if you don't know, when you swap from one-handing to two-handing, it gives you a little bit of stamina recovery. But on this game, it's incredibly minimal compared to on Demon Souls. So there's the very big ember. We're going to modify Murakumo. And I think, can we buy chunks in Anor Londo? Or is chunks the only thing on this game you can't buy? I think chunks are the only thing on this game you can't buy. The good news is, we have enough. So we now have a max Murakumo.
Don't get yourself
killed. And we're going to go and have a crack at Sith. And before we fight Sith, we'll fight this guy, because why not? This guy will one-shot us, possibly, if he lands on us, or if he hits us with a full swing. It's the jump I'm curious of. This. That is the move that will kill anyone. Because the detection on it is really piss poor. Because if his tail touches you when he lands, if his fucking invisible aura touches you, it's just really bad news. I'd love to see, if you could, you know, like a wireframe where it has hues to show you the influence of attacks, just to see how large the hitboxes actually are. But that's the kind of information that From are probably quite protective of. Because there's some companies that don't even tell you the patch notes because they don't really want that stuff to be out there, because they look at the whole notion of the patch as a negative thing, as this mistake you've made, as this, you know, it's impeding their pride, it's exposing their hubris in a way, when really it's, you know, nobody's perfect, nothing's perfect, and the fact that you're admitting there are issues and you're fixing them is way more important than, you know, this delusion of grandeur that you think might be shattering because you're being exposed. But it's just the climate and the awareness in gaming that's changing, that's helping with that, where, you know, people are interested in patch notes, whereas before it was probably too technical for people's understanding because all they wanted to do was play the video game. Which is understandable. And now we can kill our buddies in here, hopefully. You see that? What, they toggled! What a beast! I missed because I'm on funny footing, I believe. Which is another reason why I've never understood why this became like the designated PvP area. Obviously it's because of the gankers that made it so popular. Okay. There you go. Time it takes me to do an R1, he kills me. Beast. Most unexpected. Just goes back to my theory on Dark Souls though. The faster your weapon, the easier the game. I want to do a Gold Tracer playthrough because that thing is a fucking laser. I love it. I just want to bleed the bosses. I want to see which bosses bleed and which don't. Because I've pretty much done that with the Uchi by not upgrading it. But the Gold Tracer, that thing generates bleed like no other. Watch this guy autocorrect. Normally he pivots with you as he casts, because he's pretty dangerous like that. Usually with this guy, he'll run directly up to you and he'll do an attack. That's when his pathing's not being so shit. So, runs up to me and there you go. Very predictable with that. Every so often he'll run up to you and do nothing, which of course is not exactly the same, but... this became a hell of a lot more manageable of an area. So yeah. But I'm very curious to see how backstabs are going to work in Bloodborne, because you have to charge your attack to get them, which means there's going to be some efficient way of doing it, some minimum amount of charge needed, and I don't know how much control you have over that charge attack. I don't know the speed of its charge, I don't know the radius of the attack, I don't know what the hitbox is like, I know nothing. So I'm very curious to experiment with it. Because landing a backstab in that game will probably be looked at as like landing a parry, which it should be looked at as a skillful thing. But because of the nature of how the mechanic works in this game, it's looked upon as a scrub tactic, which... if you watch the highest level play of Dark Souls in like the Japanese fight clubs where everybody's super fucking good at spacing and the matches are really, really intense and intriguing to watch, it's generally backstab fests. And in some of them, as soon as somebody goes down, it's a chain stab. Like, it's a case of, do not go down or you are dead. And, oh, the frame rate is so bad on this fight. And my rolling is not good, apparently. But our damage is good. Just look at fucking this! Oh, why do I like this game again? I just don't understand how it made it in. Like, turn the fucking Furtek off. Make the room smaller, do something. It doesn't have to be like this. It's just tragic. Poor Sith. He's such a fantastic looking creature and it's such a great fight, but there's no excuse to have it like sub 10 frames a fucking second. But this is a pretty cool place. It'd be great if you could pick these swords up. I know they've not exactly been modelled in anything other than the slightest of 3Ds. It's like almost 2D. And there's no collision on any of it. Which... if only we could do that with a lot of other areas of this game, then it'd be a majestic experience. But Sif never changes. Stay under him. Try not to dodge too late like I do. And you should be fine. I mean, we could go for the kings, but I have no idea if I have what it takes to beat them just yet. Because of my levels and my endurance and the measure of rust that is slowing me down. Also, the kings can kill me, which is worrying. Tell you where I want to go. Let's do Bed of Chaos. It's a boss I've never really liked, but I do like the area as much as I think it was completely underused and almost a cop-out when you look at how the only real creatures there is a recycled boss enemies, and that little shitty fat-looking fire-breathing statue creature which just defies categorization because it's just weird. Very strange monster, that one. I think I'm going to call him Jerry today. Jerry is often misunderstood. I can't remember, did we change our stamina enough? No, we didn't. Something I should look into doing. I wonder how difficult it would be to make the camera, when it's behind the character and it's interacting with the geometry, to give the geometry like a translucency. You know, does it have to completely cock-block your view? I don't know. I've never programmed a camera, I guess. Londo Ruins, babe. So I didn't sit at the fireplace. I say fireplace. The bonfire, which makes this a little bit more cumbersome to get to, but this is one of those areas that once you know how to do this route, aside from some optimizations if you want to speedrun, it's pretty safe. You just have to be aware of what enemies do and what you're vulnerable to and moderate your stamina accordingly. That guy didn't even attack. Like, you can fall from probably here onto something down there. Or maybe this part. I don't know. There'll be some sneaky, faster way of doing it. Like, when I first learnt you could do that, it's a pretty big one. And the only reason you don't know at the beginning to do that is because the camera's so far up your ass because of the roof. So you're like, oh god, where am I? What am I doing? Like, I've seen people drop onto this on the top of it. Which, when I was a wee bairn, when I was playing this game for my first few times, I had a lot of bad memories getting onto this machine. This contraption never seemed to work. I always seemed to fall off it, and I had a really, really tough time. Oh, do you see my stamina now? Ah, this is when it works. Look at my stamina going through this. See how it's having a positive effect? When you wear the ring, it doesn't have a positive effect. It's only without the ring. So it does work, that technique. You just have to... Ooh, that was close. You just have to not have the rusted iron ring. And I have to kill what's-his-face. The dude who... Mr. Discharge. A boss I think is fascinating because of the quick kill on him. But a boss I never really liked. And you might be thinking, well Chris, I don't know why you're doing this area, it sounds like you hate it. I don't like Bed of Chaos and I don't like Ceaseless, but that's just because both of them are fights that have strange gimmicks. Ceaseless is a gimmicky fight because every move he does highlights the bad detection of the attacks in this game. He has an AoE that just murders you if you're in front of where he fires it. It's there's no choice in it, it's just good luck. See you later. And then, of course, when he slams his fist down, you can literally not get touched by it, and it still touches you. And I find that really upsetting. I am the new servant. Move. But you have no eggs. Surely you can't be a testicular tumour like the rest of us. Doesn't this seem like this was intended to go somewhere? I wonder what the other side of that was. I bet it was someplace pretty cool, like the land of the spider people. Because there's enough eggs here for there to be a hell of a lot more spider people than there is. I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't even like spiders, so I'm kind of glad there's only, what, 2? But still. I say the land of the spider people. Oh, Izalith back in its prime. It was probably a wonderful place. I'm also going to hit this. I tell you a skip I've never done is the Ceaseless skip. Never even tried. I just know it involves firing arrows and running across lava, which is incredibly dangerous, so I bet it's pretty interesting. And you do it on that bit there, because you go from there, across there, to there, to there, to there, and you go to where the Kappa Demon is over there. But for skips, for me, they have to be worth it for me to want to do them. Like, the Duke skip is definitely worth it because it skips a lot of shit. The Undead Berg, the lower Undead Bird, is worth it because it's not too long to retry. And even the Latria skip, now I'm getting better at that. It's way better than running around all those areas getting those keys. But that one just seems... I don't know. I don't think it saves all that much. Because this fight is pretty quick when you think about it. You run in, you pick up the garbs, you run all the way back to the door, and then you kill him. And I'll probably do it with my fist. Because why not? I do think this guy looks amazing though. Just the scale of this entire room. It's a technical achievement, and as much as the frame rate does suck at times, it does a decent job at displaying what it displays. I think this is what Dark Souls 2 was missing. The sense of grandeur in a lot of places. Like, you got it definitely in some areas. I think that's where we stop. Yeah, namely, Dranglake Castle. I think Dranglake Castle, definitely. I might have stopped prematurely there, guys. No, I think that worked. Like, I think Dranglake Castle had that great sense of scale. I think the Undead Crypt also had a fantastic sense of scale. Please don't hit me with a big AoE. I think we're okay. Oh, we were lucky. We were really lucky just then. But aside from that, I didn't really... Oh, and obviously the Dragon Area. I think the Dragon Area was a beautiful one. But I think that one was a little bit desensitized by the time you got there because you'd seen so much of it at all the press releases. You know, the Dragon Area. Oh, it looks so cool, and then it looks less cool, and then it looks even less cool, and then you finally got there and you're like, yeah, it's cool, but kind of seen it a lot. And then you look at this place and you go, wow, this is a massive cavern. I love watching people do the Ceaseless skip poorly. It makes my day. Not a big fan of the frame rate. Because, like, why is it not working? Why is he firing magic at me? It's like, well, you did it wrong, dude. That's why. You can't die and then try again. It's just not how it works. But kudos for trying. You definitely entertained me. But I suppose that skip does make sense if you know how to do it. And I will inevitably probably try some point. 20,000 souls for that dude. It is quite interesting, I think, that you can play a game so much and still have the chance of failing. A lot of games you don't get that too much. The drops might be affected by it, you know, certain enemy patterns or things like that might be affected by it, but as a whole, if you're good at a game and you go into it, you know what the result's going to be for a lot of the times. And I think that's why this game has such good legs, because every playthrough is usually different in some bizarre way. Like, I don't think I've seen an invisible skeleton in the catacombs for a very long time. I know I've seen it before, but I couldn't tell you when. Like, can't remember ever being interrupted during a riposte by that bitch punching me from behind, which made me stagger. Like, I had so many weird shit happen. Just really strange, bizarre stuff. And that's what makes it interesting. That's why it's one of those games that you can continue to replay. I haven't done any of the Kirk stuff, which I haven't done the goddamn... Oh, that's disappointing. Can we warp to this bonfire down here? That is really disappointing. I don't think you can walk to this bonfire. I don't know. We'll find out. Oh, I remember these guys. They don't move. It's very strange. Hello. And then there's Mr. Centipede Demon. Which, if you could hurt him somehow from this point and make him fall and die before you fought him, that would be FromSoft declaring that they are the best dev on the planet. Because, oh, that would be so good. What's the trick to this now? I can't quite remember. There's a way to hit this dude without reprisal, but I couldn't tell you what. could be it. Try and get the pincer attack and then counter it. Oh, it looks like he's afraid of me now. What is he doing? He's one-shotting me. Wow. That was brilliant. That was the ultimate spacing. Goodness me. That was really scary. Don't want that on me at all. You can counter that pretty effectively though. There we go. That is the best move. For some reason he doesn't like doing it though. I honestly couldn't tell you why. But we need to put the Lord Vessel down, so this is probably going to be the end of the episode, folks.